This will just be a bit of a taster to kind of show you the options that are there for you. And of course, then we can do a more kind of in-depth coverage of the different features then as well if you need them. We're always free for a Teams call ourselves with yourselves and maybe your other team members then as well. So yeah, we might hop straight in. So we have a mixture of clients on the call. So essentially our three major projects obviously would be the ticketing side of things. We have over 1 million tickets sold through the platform each year, all of your tickets. We also do the membership for Athletics Ireland, Cycling Ireland and Canoeing Ireland. So all their events essentially come through us then as well, and their permits. This essentially led to the creation of our fundraising product. So this is all a fully integrated system. So each of the products can be used individually, but they all work together as well. So there's a lot of options here for you today. So today's topics that we're going to cover, essentially, we're here to help you increase participation in your events, as well as like engaging with your participants as well. So we'll cover on a huge range of topics today, but of course, if there's anything specific you want to focus on, we can go into more detail on that then as well. All these features essentially came from working with organisers and promoters like yourselves. So like that, if you do ever have an idea or if you think something would make your life a lot easier, we're all ears in terms of new features. We also have a few new items to go through today then as well, that you'll get to see. So yeah, we'll hop right through into it. The three main kind of areas that the marketing tools cover are essentially event visibility. So people can't register for your event if they can't find it. We want to make it as easy as possible for people to find your event. So you have a few different options here. For a lot of you, you'd have a load of different events with this. Maybe you have one big event each year. So there's a lot of option for engagement and rewards with, people who might have done your event previously. Maybe you work with different sponsors and other organizations as well. So there's lots of options here. And of course, the powerhouse that is social media. So if anyone is, whether you're completely new to social media or you're very advanced, there's a lot of different options for you guys as well. So for the event visibility section, it's really straightforward to have kind of really powerful integrations on the event. So just to show you, so this is the event that you guys would have registered for today. So just in the back end. So in the detail section, so the most basic section of your account, this is where you're going to find these tools. So first and foremost is your event QR code. So if you click on this, you have the QR code to your event, so people can scan this and register. So just you can save it as an image. For a lot of people, if you want to actually save this to, you might want to email it to your phone. That way, if by chance you're walking down the street or you're talking to somebody, you always have a way for them to register for the event in your pocket, like walking around with a poster. Of course, you can use the QR code on posters and then as well if you're doing any print media. A new addition we added this year as well is your keywords. So essentially, this is our search engine optimization tool. So essentially, if people are searching for your event on Google or any other search engines, these words help Google or whatever other search engine they're using to find your event and rank it. So the pre-filled keywords will be pulled in based on your event genre and category. You can delete these if they're not relevant to you. And then you can always add more than as well. So your location is pulled in automatically as well. And you can add new ones by typing in here. So I'll say social media, add, and that's populated down here. So if you make any mistakes, again, you can just delete them. So yeah, just a really easy kind of built-in way. Like a lot of your, if you have any of your own websites, maybe for the event, you'll have kind of built-in SEO options. So this is basically your built-in SEO option for your own events. So really straightforward. You're essentially just typing in words, so you don't need to be any kind of coding expert. And we've done all the hard work for you for these ones. If we go down further, then you'll see your event search visibility section here. So the first option is show this event in what's on category. So if you go on to the eventmaster.ie website and you click on event calendar, your event is going to be included in here if you have this box ticked. So we'd have thousands of visitors to our site each day essentially. So having your event included in here, again, it's just an extra place where your event is visible. And they show this event in the event catalog. So this is actually a brand new feature that we have this week. So if you go into your account, oh yeah, we don't need to save it. And you're going to go into your organizer profile. So down here, you're going to see your events calendar widget. So you essentially just need to copy and paste this code into your website. You can send on the instructions to your web developers to do this. And this is essentially, you're going to have your own calendar. So this is completely free and it's available to you. So this is just an example with some Swim Ireland events in there. So you'll see here all their events are sport events, all the different categories that are available to book, all the different venues, for example, people can search by. So again, this will obviously look different for each person, or for each organizer. So this is just an example. So a live one would be the UL student event. So they would use us for their events, so in their calendar, so again, like their charity week and things like that as well. So you'll notice in the code options down here, so if you do have this sent on to your web developers, you can change the color and the default category and things like that. So that's another new option that's there for you guys. Go back here. And the last section in here then is your Google Analytics. So if you are using Google Analytics on your events, this is in the advanced section, and you're going to go into the social integration. So essentially, you can copy and paste in your G-tagging code there. So there's actually a full guide on this. We have launched this week as well. You might have noticed we have a new marketing section on the eventmaster.ie website. So if all these sections are going to be covered in here. So if you go into event visibility and you click on Google Analytics, there's a full guide there. So essentially you're just setting up a new property using the URL from your event that people use to register. And you'll basically have this code that just needs to be copy and pasted in here. So as soon as that's in, essentially you can, if you're running any kind of Google ads or any kind of more campaigns through there, and it's also a great way of tracking how many visitors you have to the event registration page as well. So for engagement and rewards, I think a lot of you on the call already, I think will already be aware of our built-in newsletter tool. So just to show you, in the marketing portal, so obviously you can add your own. So you're going to have the name. This is just visible to you. The subject line is the subject line of the email. A new addition we've made recently is this the sender name. So for example, it won't just be coming from Eventmaster. It could be, Dublin Marathon or Bear Events, or the name of your own company. So it makes it more personal. Just to do a quick demo, obviously this is a pre-populated one, but you can just click and drag to add images. add in anyone's here. If you made a mistake, you can easily delete it. The text, you're just dragging and dropping then as well. You can highlight it, change the size, change the font, make those bigger. So yeah, it's completely customizable. You can play around with that. Once you're happy, then you can send a test email to yourself that goes through straight away, so you can actually see what it looks like. And then once you're ready, the easiest and kind of major benefit of this is that it will automatically have all your different events built into it. So we'll just do a test event there. So it'll automatically pull in the different ticket types, and you can send that to people straight away, essentially. So you have two options when you're building the newsletter. So you have critical ones here. So for example, if you were doing a webinar, or and you need to send out the registration link or the link for the webinar itself to join, or for example, if unfortunately your event was cancelled, you need a way to contact all the people. The critical newsletter will essentially send it to everyone, whereas the newsletter option is just for marketing and promotional content. So again, it's a really handy tool if you say are launching your 2024 event and you want to send out an email to all your 2023 participants, just to let them know that it's open again. So yeah, just a handy tool there. For your discount codes, a lot of people would use this for for early bird offers. So this is in the advanced section, price discounts. So the name is just for you. Nobody else is going to see this. It's just for the back end. You can apply this to specific ticket types. If you leave this unticked, it'll apply to all ticket types. You can do the start and the end date. You have the option of doing a set price, so it could be a €5 discount, or if you tick a percentage, you can make it a percentage discount. This is also really useful if you want to do any test transactions. So for example, you could make it a 100% discount. So it's an easy way to kind of test out what your booking process looks like once you've finished customizing your event fully. The most common would be the non-unique, so it could be early bird 23. The quantity is how many people you want to allow to be able to use this code, or how many times you want the code to be able to be used. And the max quantity per order is essentially if I say I'm booking myself and my 4 friends all at the one time, and I go to the checkout and I use early 23, it's either going to give me 10% off just one ticket, or do I get 10% off all the tickets in my order? So for example, the 4. So you can set the limit that you're happy with there. And then you're just going to click save as well. So you'll see the active sign there then as well once you've finished setting that up. And then again, an easy way to you obviously put that out on your social media channels or send it out with the newsletter tool. The other option you have then as well is a non-unique discount. So I'll just do a test one. This one is slightly different. So this is useful if you have any kind of corporate sponsors that you want to give maybe a discounted rate to, or if you want to kind of control who has access to this particular discount type. So if you'll have to save it first down here, and then you just need to have an Excel file that has the heading codes, and I'll have your different codes uploaded in here. So I will upload these ones here. So you'll see these codes were uploaded there. I just need to click save again. And then again, you can see the quantity there, and you'll just need to send the Excel file with the code, say, to that particular company that, and they can distribute those codes then to their employees for them to register at the discounted price. The other option you have in terms of discounted entries is by doing price tranches. So this is all automated as well. So if you go into the ticket section of your account, the price tranche, oh, this is a free ticket. So say if I did the price of the ticket is 50 is the normal price, I then have the option to add in price tranches here. So the name is just visible to you, so you can track it. The ticket type name this is essentially what appears on the front end when somebody is booking the ticket itself. So say the early bird could be €40 instead of €50. You have the option then to do this between specific dates. So say for the month of August, it's €40, then between August and September, it could go up to 45, etc., etc. Or else instead of dates, you could do, say, the first 1 to 100 tickets are €40. So if I save that there now, and if I go into the event, you'll see that instead of the webinar, you'll see the early bird there and the set price. So this is really handy, especially if you're doing it at the date intervals, if you want to kind of gradually increase the prices the closer you get to the event. We find as well in a lot of our events that, the early bird obviously drives a lot of traffic then as well. People trying to get in before the deadlines. Yeah, those are those ones. As mentioned, all these guides are on the marketing section of the website. And again, obviously I'm going through this quickly just to give you a flavour of it, but if you need any help or if you need us to set up any of these for you, that's no bother at all. A huge kind of tool for engagement as well is fundraising, which we'll go into in more detail shortly. For the social media side of things, the easiest option and the most common option would be we would obviously share events on our own social media channels. So if you would like your event shared on our channels, we're more than happy to do that. Just send us over any requests, like with the event URL, we're more than happy to share them for you. So you reach a different kind of audience than your own followers. So for the social media integration, if you copy and paste in the link to your Facebook page by going to Advanced Social Integration, you can link your Facebook and your Twitter. And what this does is essentially when people are registering for the event, they have the option to click follow. So you can just build your Facebook followers as people are registering. And then similar, if you click on the follow as well for Twitter, you can follow along, it brings you directly. So obviously this is for our social channels, but if it's your event, it would obviously be for your own socials. So that's just an added option there. For the Facebook pixel, obviously this is more advanced. If any of you are running any Facebook ads, for example, what this does is if you're setting up a Facebook ad, you can basically put a pixel in there as well. So it just means that people who are visiting the event page, the event registration page, your Facebook ads will kind of specifically target them. For the pixel tracker then as well, it shows you essentially you can track the visitors to your page. So it's also a different option in terms of Google Analytics. So just to show you there, there's a full guide on the Facebook pixel on the website as well in the marketing section. So essentially you're going to set up the pixel. It shows you how to set up the pixel in your Facebook Business Manager. You're essentially just using the event URL that people use to register, and then you're just copying and pasting the ID into the section that we just showed you there, the Facebook pixel. So once that's in, like that. You can go in, you'll see the different traffic on the event page. So people who viewed it, people that completed the registration. And then again, you can use the pixel in any kind of targeted Facebook ads then as well for retargeting campaigns. So like that, there's, depending on what your needs are, there's more simple options and then more advanced options then as well. I think I don't know how many of you are using TikTok, and we'll be adding in a TikTok pixel option here then as well. For fundraising, this is a big marketing tool essentially for organisers that we're seeing more and more. So I might pass it over to Louise if Louise wants to if you want to give some insight on the fundraising side of it.
Yep, thanks, Leanne. So the fundraising platform is a new platform with Eventmaster since 2021. So within that time, we have over 200 charities on board with us, close enough to 300 charities now at this stage, as more and more charities are on boarding with us on a daily, weekly basis. So the process of the fundraising and integrating the fundraising on your event, it's quite streamlined, it's quite simple. We create a campaign for the event. We link the campaign to the event. So as people are registering, they're filling in the registration form, and then they come to the fundraising section where they're asked if they would like to create a fundraising page. This then prompts them to kind of think about fundraising on an event. So they can select yes or no. I'll go through those different options with you again. And if they select yes, when they finish the registration, their page is ready for them to share immediately on their social channels. The fundraising page is managed from the same login as their tickets. So again, they'll be quite used to using their Manage My Booking, where they can customize their page, edit their target, and just manage it from that section. Then for the different options, then, so you saw there where in the fundraising section, sorry, Leanne, I've gone on. So you can set up the campaign in a certain way, in that you can have it where it's just a single charity. That's the nominated charity for that particular event. You can have it where there's multiple charities available for selection, and the monies is split equally between those charities. And then the most common one, again, then on any of our bigger events, is the all charities. So all charities on board with us are available for selection. So also then on that fundraising section within the registration form, you have 3 different settings that you can put on the campaign. So one would be where we would use the likes of this now would be on like maybe the Great Pink Run. So as people are registering, once they finish registration, the fundraising page is automatically created for them. There's no selection. It's there for them to use straight away. Then you have the option to ask if they would like to create a fundraising page. Yes or no, but the default is yes. And then the third option is where the participant chooses whether they would like to fundraise. They select either yes or no. And again, if they select yes, the fundraising page is created automatically and ready to share on the social channels. It keeps the process very streamlined. They're not going on to another platform to try and create their pages. And we found this is very successful in raising as much funds as possible for the nominated charity or charities on a particular event.
Yeah, it's actually mad, because I know there's a lot of events that might not previously have been associated with fundraising. Particularly, I know a lot of for the Athletics Ireland events, a lot of organisers are opting for that now. So even if it's just a random 5K or 10K in any kind of town across Ireland, realistically, you're going to have people in that community that have a kind of a cause that is close to them. So just having the option there, it's actually surprised quite a few organisers how much money they've actually got to raise through their events. So it's actually really good for what we're seeing. is that there's actually quite a lot of marketing benefits from having this added in as well. So naturally, like as people are registering and they have their tickets, like Louise said, they instantly get the link to their fundraising page. So on their fundraising page, they're naturally going to share that on their own social media channels. So for example, let's try to find an open one here. All the fundraising pages are basically linked to your event. So the Dublin Marathon would be one of the biggest campaigns we have right now. But if you see the fundraiser page here, so if they're going to be sharing this on their Facebook page, people are going to be going in here to donate. But also if they click on anything to do with the Dublin Marathon, it's going to bring them, so like that, if it's your event, it's going to bring them to their event. They can register to take part as well. So essentially it's a lot of free advertising if people are sharing their pages on social media that's connected with your event. We've noticed as well there's a lot more kind of media coverage. So it's, for a lot of events, there could be some particularly a great impact for like local charities, national charities. So that's what we've noticed as well. Essentially, there's kind of more, good news stories that will kind of naturally get picked up rather than paying for any kind of paid ads or press releases in papers. We've seen as well there's actually higher participation in events that have fundraising. This is obviously to do with the increased kind of visibility on social media from people sharing their pages. But also I found that, people, you're more likely to get group bookings. So friends and families are more likely to kind of book together and work together essentially with the fundraising. We have a Teams option available on fundraising now as well. So again, there's a lot of area for engagement here. What we've seen a lot of organisers do, and we do it in some of our events as well, is that in the order form, people are actually asked why they're taking part, and if it's okay to contact them in relation to their story. So essentially, people can come in, like I think we've had some people that have had like kidney transplants or liver transplants and they're taking part in a run. They want to raise awareness for their particular cause. Unfortunately, if people might be running in memory of somebody special. So again, you just have access to these stories that again is more often than not, people are more than happy for you to contact them, for you to share their page on your social media channels. There's been a few people as well that obviously, quite large fundraisers. I think the Great Limerick Run had a huge impact for Milford Hospice this year. I think I have it here. So yeah, they had over 90,000 raised for a particular charity. So again, a lot of local coverage and huge impact made. Oh, it's closed now. Of this, particular fundraisers that would have had quite a big impact locally. So again, another big area in terms of marketing for you guys. If you do work with, particularly if you want to partner with a specific charity, and that gives you access in as well to their social channels, their ambassadors as well. So again, it just kind of doubles up on having increased visibility for your event. And again, a lot of organisers would use the campaign leaderboard. So this is in itself kind of gets people really involved. So you can see here who the fundraiser of the week is. So this is automatically kind of populated for you. It's all automatic. And again, just really easy to kind of share your campaign page on your Facebook channels. It's just kind of to recognize people's efforts and, kind of gets a bit of competition going then as well in people if they see they're at the top or they're like, lower down. It's kind of can get people really involved in it as well. And then of course as well for any kind of sponsors of the event. So for example, if you have a headline sponsor or even any kind of smaller sponsors, they can visibly see that there's been over 200,000 raised through this event that they're directly involved in, and it's benefited all these charities. So they kind of have like a very visible, tangible thing to see here in terms of their involvement. And obviously that's really good marketing for them then as well as you as organisers. So again, this is a totally free tool. There's no charge for you to use it. There's no charge for the charities to accept donations. So it's essentially win-win-win. Similar to you, obviously you get your funds in real time, so the charities also get the donations in real time to the event, or in real time as well. And then of course your participants kind of get that feel-good factor then from taking part. Even if people might not have fundraised that year and they see the impact, you've had in 2023, they might think, oh yeah, I'll give it a go in 2024. So yeah, it's just there's kind of no negatives to do to you'd have to find a reason not to do it, essentially. Another big area as well is the option. So if you do have any kind of sponsorships, we do have advertising options available. So this is like a split. There is a fee for using these features. I think we've worked previously with Fitbit and Elvery's. But again, amazing visibility for sponsors if you do have anyone coming on board. There's the option to advertise on e-tickets for event. So essentially everyone who gets their ticket will have we can put in the graphics here. And then there's also an option. So as people register for the event, they're going to see the order complete page. So essentially we can put in graphics, links. So again, it can send them to your sponsor's website. And then again, we can give them, as people register, they can get their own unique discount codes that they can use on the site. So again, really kind of powerful options there. I'll send out the slides afterwards, but we do have a Fitbit kind of case study on how this works in depth as well, if that's of interest to you guys. If you want to kind of automatically send out information to people as their booking, so every single person will obviously get a confirmation email. So you have the option to edit what people receive in the email. So this is done in the notification section. So for example, I would have used this when I was sending this the invite out to all you guys. So the top part is hard coded. So obviously it's personalized with their name, their event, the order ID, and then their tickets are linked. So you can add in any kind of information you want in the bottom. So even for example, it could be you might have other events that are happening at the moment. It could even be, why not look at, go onto the website for more information, or links, text, anything, and you can sign it off yourselves. And actually, if you do have multiple events with us, I actually didn't go through in the detail section of the event setup. You have the option to have a cross promotion section. If you do have you have the option to hide it. I had it hidden for our one because we wouldn't have other ones there. But so it just means if somebody is registering for one event, they can see your other events advertised at the site here, and they can obviously click in and register for those ones separately then as well. So yeah, those are essentially a flying visit of a wide range of features there. Of course, we're always here if you do need to go through anything, or if you have queries. We can go through anything in more detail as well if needed. Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us, guys, and I'll be sending out links to any other kind of future webinars or any kind of new features. We'll be keeping you up to date as well. So thanks a million for the support. Have a nice evening.